welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to make this quick. I don't know how quick it's gonna be, but I want to talk about self-love, and I want to talk and give you guys some tips that have helped me when it comes to like self-love and that self journey that I'm on. Now, the first thing that's important when it comes to self-love is, of course, it's like respecting yourself and stuff like that, but I think it's also very important to get to know who you are. And with that being said, it's like, in order for you, for example, when you meet someone, in order for you to get to know that person, you need to spend time with that person, right? So that's the same when it comes to getting to know yourself. So in order to get to know who you are is to spend time by yourself. Now, I know some of you might say, well, I don't have time, I'm always busy, or I'm always doing this, or I'm always this. Some of us, we have social media for distractions. We have work. We have a lot of responsibilities. Some of you guys might be married. Some of you guys might have kids. Some of you guys might be in relationships and live with your partner. Or you can live with family or things like that. So sometimes it can be hard, and you can say, well, I don't have time to spend by myself. I'm constantly having to do stuff. So here are some tips that have helped me. Now, there are so many other ways that you guys can spend time alone and work on your self-love and self-journey. So I'm going to jump into some of the things, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is something that I've been doing since 2007. Now, you know what's crazy? It's writing, like journal, having a diary. But I'm going to tell you how I got into it. So I remember one time I was in the car. I think I was driving with my dad. Well, he was driving, but we were going home, I think. I don't know. But I was listening to the radio. And in the radio, they had said something about writing your journals, or like writing or something like that. And that's how I started to write. So in 2007, I started my first journal. But then I think a year or 2 years had passed, and I ripped it up because I'm like, I don't want no one to see it. Till this day, I do regret that, just because sometimes, I do a lot of stuff for self-love, but one thing that I always do is go back. That's why it's so important to do journaling, okay? Because you can go back and you can see your growth. You can see everything that you went through. And I don't know, it just, some of the things are funny. Some of the things are like, wow, I went through a lot of stuff. And it's crazy because a couple of years ago, this is my old journal. And as you can see, look at the difference. I feel like you can even tell, this is more dark, and this was some dark times during this time, right? So when I look at this journal, I'm like, oh my God, this journal looks more like brighter and happier. And in life, I am gonna go through some hard stuff, right? And some hard stuff are gonna be on this journal, but I feel like my mentality and the way that I think is so different from before, because now I'm more hopeful, I'm more positive, I'm learning to be more positive. I'm not positive all the time. And with journaling, you don't have to write all the time, right? Sometimes because like I said, life gets in the way. Sometimes I write 6 months. It takes me 6 months to come back to my journal, or a month, because life gets in the way, or sometimes I just don't feel like writing. But I think it's so important because you get to write and you get to look back. So that's that. Then I have my tarot cards. Here I have them. I feel like tarot cards is also another way to get to know who you are. Now, I know a lot of people have thoughts and views and opinions about tarot cards and all this stuff and whatever. But like I said, your self journey, or doing, self-love and loving yourself and spending time alone, it's doing things that you yourself enjoy. I enjoy doing tarot cards. And I feel like it's important. For me, it has helped me, because whenever I do tarot cards, I start to see oh, well, maybe I should work on this, or maybe, I had a bad day, or it was a bad week, or maybe this means this, or this means that. So I try to get to know my life and get to understand myself a little bit more through these tarot cards. And I have done readings on people. And it also, I think it's a way to connect with other people, because I feel like whenever I do these tarot cards, I tell them like, oh, has there, it seems like there's something going on and like this and that. And like, maybe you need to focus on this. Like, oh yeah, like, do you feel like this resonates with you? And then they keep talking to me and they keep opening up. So I feel like this is the way that I do my tarot cards, like, And then here I have the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles have to do with like money and things like that. And I feel like she is concentrated. She is happy about what's happening. Things like that, right? Things like that. So then I don't know everything about my tarot cards. I look at them and I use them once in a while. And I'm still learning. I have a year. And also, when it comes to self-love, don't force yourself to do things, right? But sometimes it's good to like just do it and then you start enjoying it. But don't force yourself if you don't feel like it. Sorry guys, I'm trying to speed this up. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is quite the giver. She is nurturing, welcoming, and ready to keep calm your heart with warmth and love. So look inside to see how nurturing feminine qualities of your personality can improve your life. Veer away from closed-minded and selfishness tendencies and consider embracing a more welcoming and accepting attitude. Your loving nature will be more appreciated than you realize. Okay, so that's what that means, and things like that, And then we have my oracle cards, which these are more of these can be more generalized, and yeah, I just got them. Okay guys, I just got them. These are messages of the day. Maybe I wake up one day. I don't do this every day, but like the day that I do like to maybe wake up and like see an oracle card, and then I'm like, okay, let's see what the message is for the day, right? The message for the day, the message for the week. And the message for today is deep emotional healing, right? So your heart is ready to heal from the past experiences, and you're willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. Oh my God, isn't that crazy that I'm talking about that and this showed up? So things like that, right? I don't know. It's like, it's so important to spend time alone, regardless of what is going on around the world. And my last thing, I have a couple other things, but I'm just going to share these. My bowl. I recently got this because I'm getting into meditation. I've been trying to for a long time, but it's very difficult for me to just sit and be quiet, because it's hard to do, but it takes practice. So I feel like using a singing bowl has helped me. It helps me concentrate. It helps me focus on the sound, right? So you see this. So also before I was going to say what I was going to say, it is important, I feel, because we live in a society where there's a lot of people. There's constantly a lot of, I don't want to say chaos, but it's chaos because there's constantly people running back and forth, going to work, coming home, going to get something to eat, going to the gym, going to the grocery store, going to this, going to that, being surrounded by people. And I think it's so important to be able to just be quiet and silent your mind for at least 1 minute. Okay? That's so important. I can't do that. So I decided to invest in a bowl. I got this on Amazon. It was like $40. And this is how I concentrate, by just focusing on the noise. So what I do first is I like to listen to that noise, and I feel like that sound is radiating through my body, right? I do that for a couple minutes. And once I'm done doing that, what I do is I like to look here in this little circle. I like to focus on that circle, and I like to look, and I like to imagine and imagine what I like, what I want for my future, my goals. So like I like to imagine that. And then sometimes I do my bowl and I do positive affirmations. So saying you are successful, you are wealthy, you are positive, you are like you're a loving person and things like that, right? Things that I want to be, I say it, because when it comes to manifestation, I don't know much about it, but when it comes to manifestation, is like whatever you say out there, whatever you put, whatever you imagine, it happens, right? So I think that's something else, something completely different, and I'm still learning about that stuff. But those are some things, just being positive and trying to love yourself, right? I feel like getting to know who you are, it's so important, because it's also very helpful to understand who you are, because we all go through different traumas. We all go through different experiences throughout life, and it's important that we understand who we are, because that's gonna help us to find find ourselves. I don't know, like, understand us. Because I'm sorry, I'm not making sense, but what I'm trying to say is, if you are someone like that might be very anxious or might be very angry, right, and you take time to yourself, you heal, you realize things, then you realize things of your past, and you realize, oh, well, maybe I'm anxious, or maybe I'm nervous, or maybe I'm like this, or maybe I'm angry because of this, or maybe I'm triggered when I see this because of what happened here, So you have to spend time alone and spend time by yourself. I feel like also with this quarantine, these past few weeks, I really have realized certain things about my life, and I'm gonna call it like a spiritual awakening. And I don't want to talk too much about that, maybe later on in the future, but I feel like, a lot of people have gone through that. Maybe, not a lot, but like spending this time by yourself, spending time alone, analyzing yourself. I'm not a doctor, but like understanding, we know ourselves the most, right? And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys are doing good. If you guys comment down below any other things that you guys like to do when it comes to like self-love, or like taking time out of yourself, taking time for yourself, not out of yourself, taking time to take care of yourself, to invest in yourself. Okay, guys? So take care.